Cargill's busted open for reals.
The Scottish psychopath meets the Samoan werewolf.
And Orton saves the day. Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
We begin with Paul Heyman asking the crowd what they want to talk about. He suggests Seth, but the crowd chant back OTC. Heyman then mentions Brock Lesnar, but gets cut off by Cody Rhodes, who then makes his way out. Cody asks about Brock, then shows Heyman introducing Lesnar before his match at WrestlePalooza, which prompts Cody to ask who he's talking to, the Oracle, the Wise Man, or the Advocate. Heyman says Brock isn't here, but as he does, Bronson then enter the ring. Heyman leaves the ring as Cody tells Breaker Heyman isn't loyal to him. This angers Bron, who removes his vest, with Rhodes then asking, "You looking for a fight?" which inevitably they are. Rhodes removes his jacket and gets the jump on Bronson, and does indeed hold his own for a short while until the numbers overwhelm him. But just as he's about to take a whipping, out comes help in the shape of Randy Orton, with the faces then driving the heels from the ring.
First up tonight, the Street Profits versus Melo Dope Miz in a number 1 contenders match for the WWE Tag Team titles. After a couple of quick pin attempts from each team, a double team by the Profits on Miz, we end up outside the ring as we break, even though we've literally just had one. We come back to Miz getting a near fall from a DDT on Ford, with Melo Dope Miz then working over Ford and getting a 2 count.
Hayes then comes in and continues where Miz left off, keeping Ford from his corner. Ford finally breaks free and goes for the tag, but Miz pulls Dawkins from the apron, leaving Ford to grasp nothing but air. Hayes then hits first 48 and goes for nothing but net, but Miz tags back in, which annoys Hayes. Melo grabs the Miz's arm, with the pair then arguing, which gives Ford a chance to tag Dawkins.
Dawkins, of course, deals with the Miz, then tags Ford before planting the Miz on the mat. Ford lands a frog splash from the top rope and covers the Miz. As he does, Hayes half slides into the ring, but stops and has second thoughts about breaking the cover. Instead, he just watches as the referee counts to 3, and the Profits pick up the victory. After the match, we see the Wyatts standing on the announcer's desk.
Backstage, Kathy Kelly has Jade Cargill and asks her what her mindset is before her triple threat match. Dominance, comes the reply. We then see Stephanie Vaquer appear, with Cargill saying when she wins tonight, there'll be a storm coming Vaquer's way at Crown Jewel.
Next out, Giulia and Kiana James against Michin and B-Fab. James suffers 2 cover attempts, 1 each from Fab and Michin, before Michin crotch chops at Giulia, clearly a fan of the Attitude Era, best era, before James gets away and brings in the United States champion. Giulia dropkicks Michin, with Michin replying with the same move before taking her down with a Hurricane Rana and then tagging out.
Fab and Michin look to double team Giulia, but Giulia, who was thrown towards the ropes, grabs them and heads outside. Inevitably, the fight continues outside, with Michin being thrown over the announcer's desk by Giulia. Only as Giulia gives herself flowers, Michin comes back with a drop kick to the United States champion from the announcer's table. We then hit a break and come back to B-Fab being beaten in the heel's corner.
Giulia lands a missile drop kick from the top rope and covers Fab for 2, with James then coming back in and doing nothing as Fab manages to tag Michin, who lands a tornado DDT to James and cover for 2, but only because Giulia broke the cover. Giulia then suffers a pump kick by Fab, with Michin then dropping James with a meat defeat. Only James stumbles back to her corner, where Giulia tags herself in. Arrivederci, a Northern Lights bomb and cover get the win for Giulia and James.
Backstage, we see Flair and Bliss watching on when they're approached by Sol Ruka and Zaraya. The NXTers want a tag title shot, but Flair says they haven't earned it. Bliss then tells the pair that they need to prove themselves before telling them to get in line.
Drew McIntyre's out next, wearing a boot on his right leg. Drew complains about losing at WrestlePalooza, portioning the blame on the referee. 1, for not counting quickly enough when he had Cody pinned, and 2, for getting between Drew and Cody when Drew was about to Claymore Rhodes through the announcer's desk, citing it was Drew's match to throw away if the ref DQ'd it. So why get in the way? Drew then questions who the referees work for, the WWE or Cody Rhodes, and claims it's corruption.
Nick Aldis then heads out, puts doubt on Drew's injured leg, saying it's not come from the WWE medical team, and then tells McIntyre to stop complaining and that the referee's decision is final. Aldis then heads to the back, and while Drew continues to complain, out comes the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. The two square up, with Fatu grabbing the mic and telling Drew to shut up. Drew grabs the mic back, saying if he wasn't hurt, right, with Fatu getting the mic back again and saying if he weren't hurt, what? Fatu then runs through his all gas no break speech, but McIntyre cuts him off with a Glasgow kiss. Fatu comes back with a super kick before taking the protective boot off Drew's foot and hitting him with it.
Backstage we see Stephanie Fakir telling Tiffany Stratton she'll be watching her tonight, with Stratton saying she'll win if the pair meet at Crown Jewel.
We also see Sami Zayn speaking with Rey Fenix about tonight's Open Challenge when we see someone walking behind the pair. Rey asks Sami who he thinks will answer the United States Open Challenge, with Sami saying it could be anyone from SmackDown or Raw. Zayn then heads to the ring and awaits his opponent.
Before the match we see another vignette from Solo, this time speaking about JC Mateo. Sokoa says that if anyone gets out of line, then JC's the guy to put them back, and that his loyalty will be rewarded as long as he's part of his family tree. JC then says he loves Solo.
So tune in next week to see Tala also reintroduced to the MFTs. Back to the ring, and Zayn's opponent is Javon Evans, who isn't from SmackDown or Raw as he is from NXT. Zayn takes Evans down with arm drag takedowns, then helps him up, with Evans then thanking the champ with a chop. Zayn chops back and whips Evans towards the ropes, who slides under, jumps onto the top rope and leaps at Zayn with a massive crossbody before covering for one.
Another cover gets Evans 2, with Zayn then coming back with a heavy clothesline, just as we break. We come back to Evans suffering chops before he sends Zayn to the outside and dives after him over the top rope with a huge leap. We get back in the ring where Evans gets another 2 count after kicking Zayn. Zayn then goes high, but Evans catches up to him and brings him down with a Hurricane Rana before covering again for 2.
Evans then runs at Zayn, but Zayn counters into an exploder and then sets up for the haluva kick. But as Zayn nears Evans, Evans catches him with double knees. Javon then heads upstairs and tries to land a double spring tornado splash. Only Zayn rolls out of the way and tries to land another haluva kick. Evans dodges out of the way and with Zayn stunned, lands an OG cutter from the top rope. Think Cody cutter.
Evans then covers with Zayn kicking out on 2.5. Evans then springboards at Zayn again, but Zayn avoids it. Haluva kicks Evans, who ended up in the corner, and then follows up with a blue thunder bomb. This does for Evans as Zayn covers and gets the 1, 2, 3.
Backstage we see Chelsea Green trying to recruit Nia Jax before Jax comes across for care. Jax says she could drop her right where she stands, but would rather wait until Crown Jewel when she's new WWE Women's Champion.
We also see Damian Priest backstage with Kit Wilson once again calling Priest toxic and even pushing the Punisher. Priest then steps to Wilson, but Wilson turns to run, only to trip over his own wheelchair. We then hear Aleister Black asking Priest if he's looking for him. Priest turns to face Black, but gets caught with Black Mass.
So, last match of the night, Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton in a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Jax dominates early, with Stratton then sending her from the ring. We then cut to Cargill and Jax fighting next to the announcer's desk, so I can only assume we hit a break and see Stratton try to fly out at the pair, only to get caught on the ropes as she does. I shouldn't laugh, but you have to because it was funny.
Cargill fall-away slams Stratton and sends her ring-bound, with Jax then pushing Cargill into the ring post and going after Stratton. Jax squashes the champ in the corner twice, with Cargill then re-entering the ring, slamming Stratton and covering for 2 as Jax broke the pin. Cargill and Stratton run through pin combinations, with Jax then coming off the middle rope and leg dropping Cargill.
Stratton basement drop kicks Jax and then lands a swanton from the top rope, but upon getting up, Jade drops her with a kick, with Stratton landing on Jax and into cover. Jax though kicks out on 2. We hit another break, come back, and we're here, which does get pulled off. Stratton then performs a rolling senton to Cargill before landing the PME to Jax and covering for 2. Jade broke the cover.
Stratton then handsprings into the corner at Cargill, but Jade catches her, hits Jaded and cover for the 1, 2, not 3, as Jax pulls the ref from the ring. Cargill goes after Jax, but Jax throws her into the ring steps. Cargill gets busted open, but carries on regardless, and Samoan drops Jax onto the steps. Cargill then shouts down the camera lens, and it's then you can see the full extent of the damage she suffered.
It looks like she suffered a gash across her eyebrow, which looks gross. With the referee getting a tissue from somewhere and trying to mop up best she can. Jax then gets back in the ring, as does Cargill, with Jade hitting Eye of the Storm and covering for 2. Jax kicks out with Stratton basement drop kicking Jade for good measure. It's then that it all goes wrong. Stratton covers Jax with the ref then counting to 2 and stopping as if Jax kicked out. Jax didn't kick out and just laid there, with the ref and Jax looking at one another while Stratton looked on.
The crowd start to boo as Stratton lands a few elbows to Jax and then finishes her off with the prettiest moonsault ever. SmackDown goes off the air with the 2 women's champions showing off their gold.
Yeah, pretty standard SmackDown, nothing exceptional.
Yeah, nothing really
I mean, that, the gash to Cargill's, whether we show it or not, I don't know. It was not nice to look at. Like her eyebrow was sort of here and the other one was up here, so I'm assuming the cut's gone there. I don't know, not the nicest thing. And then obviously the non-kick out at the end. I mean, obviously Jax was supposed to kick out. There was something gone wrong. Right. It was funny. Anyway, now for Michael's moment of the night. This could be a match, a line, a look, a promo, something funny, interesting, serious, quirky, or just different. Just something that catches my eye. Obviously, it has to wait till the end, because if I do it halfway through and it's something that happens at the end, it's kind of a spoiler. So, Michael's moment of the night is the referee stopping the pinfall count at 2 when Stratton was covering Jax, even though Jax didn't kick out. Yes, it was a mistake, but it was funny. Especially when Jax looked at the ref looked at Jax, and Stratton just gazed off into the crowd like, why is nobody cheering? Like, what's happened? Yes, it was a mistake, but it's funny. That's it, it's funny. Simple as that. Any thoughts or views you'd like to share, and if you thought it was funny, then please feel free to leave them in the comments down there somewhere.
Don't forget to go and check out our music video with thoughts and opinions of the last week of WWE, because a new one drops every Wednesday.
Thank you very much for watching if you did.
And we'll see you Tuesday for Raw.